So let's go through the course syllabus. You'll remember that the syllabus and our schedule and a whole host of other information is housed under the course information section of our course. If you scroll down past the cartoon and past our goals for the semester, you'll find those documents. So I'm just going to click on course syllabus. It is going to open up in a new window, and I really encourage you to print this out for reference as I'm kind of talking through it, and also so that you'll have it later in the semester to refer back to. But basically, our syllabus starts with information about contacting me and where I'm located. I'm here in the math building in Suite 101 at the Stephenville campus. And one note about emailing me, please only email me within Blackboard. If you email me to my Tarleton account, it could get lost in the sea of other emails that I get to that account. So this helps me keep all of our class emails in one place. You'll see a note here about our C&I program goals, and you'll find that as a faculty we are striving to prepare you to be able to identify, evaluate, and investigate best practices in the field of curriculum instruction or in the field of teaching, as you all know it. We are seeking to prepare you to apply those best practices to curriculum instruction knowledge and instructional leadership, and we're seeking to prepare you to effectively communicate to your colleagues in the field of curriculum and instruction. So those are the three things that we as a faculty strive to do in all of our courses for the entire program. Underneath the program goals, you'll see a description of our course, and it's basically a course that's going to help prepare you to use effective teaching strategies for your own online learning environments, whether that's a fully online course or a hybrid course. And we're going to place a lot of emphasis on communication strategies, interaction, and organization skills that are necessary for you to be a good facilitator of online learning. And so you're going to develop and apply appropriate strategies for promoting active and collaborative learning, managing the workload and administrative issues related to teaching an online course, and then articulating effective pedagogy for your online students. I'm going to try my best to model and practice all of the things that I preach, so that you can kind of see me demonstrating and modeling effective strategies for online teaching. No pressure there, right? Our course goal is to help you develop competency in applying effective teaching strategies for online learning environments. And the course is going to have information about preparing you to teach online and managing your online courses, and teaching techniques that promote critical thinking, group interaction and collaboration, and good online communication. You'll see this communication over and over again because it is the key to effective online teaching. Communication is the heart of an online learning environment. So we're going to spend a lot of time on those types of strategies. And you're expected to actively engage in a lot of different activities and readings that are going to facilitate your growth in this area, whether that be role-playing exercises, watching videos, discussing things with your peer students, discussing things with experts who have been teaching online for years and years, etc. So you're expected to, and the key word there is actively engage in those activities. Okay, next we can talk about the learning outcomes, and those are broken down by knowledge outcomes and skill outcomes. The knowledge outcomes are more sort of the lower level of Bloom's taxonomy for those of you who are familiar with that model, but it's basically where you're going to be identifying task and time commitment needed to prepare to teach online, identifying those theories behind effective pedagogy in an online environment, really understanding and articulating your role as an instructor and your role as a student. We're going to be talking about roles a whole lot and how important it is for you to see things from every vantage point in terms of the stakeholders of the online environment. And then we come to the skill outcomes, and those are at the upper, higher end of Bloom's taxonomy, and that's where you actually develop and apply strategies that we talk about towards something. So develop and apply strategies for promoting active and interactive learning. Develop and apply appropriate strategies for promoting class community. And finally, developing and applying appropriate strategies for managing time, workload, and administrative issues related to teaching effectively online. Alright, so our textbook is a good one. It's one you're going to want to keep, and I think it's only around $35. It's by Staverty's, and it's Effective Online Teaching, Foundations and Strategies for Student Success. You will need a textbook for sure, because there's basically by the end of the course you'll have read the entire book and hopefully applied some of the practical strategies and theory in it. So if you haven't already purchased your textbook, you need to do so as soon as possible, because there is required reading during week 2. Alright, so let's talk a little bit about entrance competencies. There's not necessarily any prereq courses that you have to take, so you didn't have to take my 553 class to take my 554 class, although a lot of you did, and I'm happy to see you guys again. But it is necessary for those of you who remember from last semester for you to have basic information literacy skills, time management skills, reading, writing, and communication skills. Those are all necessary skill sets for you to have to be successful in this course. Alright, so let's talk about the writing proficiency statement. And what this is saying basically is that we as a graduate faculty expect you to write in a technical format using APA, and that's because in the field of education you have to present a professional image, and that's important for your own students as well, for them to see you writing in a professional way. So we expect that of you, and that's why we have this statement in here. The method of instruction of this course is fully online, so you're aware of that because you signed up for it as an online course. And again, we're using Blackboard Learn 9 learning management system. The course is going to have discussions, reflective activities, individual self-assessments, readings, video, small group role plays exercises. Some things I didn't mention in the syllabus but that are in here are surveys. So you're going to have surveys even in this first week. So there's quite a variety of activities that we're going to utilize this semester. Here's one of the most important parts of the syllabus, and I've already talked about this in an earlier video, but it's the Blackboard Help Desk contact info. I would recommend that you actually write this on a sticky note and stick it to the front of your monitor. Just in case you run into problems. It's just nice to have it on hand. But I did put that information in the syllabus because it is so important. And also, likewise, the Blackboard Learn 9 tutorial is important for you to get up to speed on exactly how some of the tools in Blackboard work. In terms of interaction with me, you can expect to reach me anytime in the office, Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 12 p.m. Those are my official office hours. And then for email messages within the course, you can expect me to typically respond to you within 24 to 48 hours, except on the weekends when I reserve that time to spend with my family. Evaluation in the course is on a 100-point grading scale. And underneath that, you'll see how our grade is distributed across 5 different areas. So I'm going to kind of go through and talk about each one of these individually. So first is 5 group wiki contributions. That's worth 25% of your grade. And this semester we're going to actually do this in small groups. So you're going to be assigned to a group of 4 or 5, and your group will have 1 wiki in which each of you will contribute to. And so for those of you who don't know what a wiki is, it's a dynamic page that's developed collaboratively by a community of users. So basically it's all of you in the group contributing and adding to and editing 1 page. And so in this class you're going to use the wiki to role play different roles in the online environment. So instructor role, student role, we'll have some cases where you're an administrator, but each of you will have a different role to play in the wiki. Okay, next we have 3 synchronous sessions, and that's worth 15% of your grade. A synchronous session basically means it's a live, real-time session, and we're going to have 3 of those this semester. We have an optional one coming up in week 2, which means you don't have to attend it if you don't want to, but I want to go ahead and have a synchronous session early on in the semester in case you're running into any issues or have questions about the course. So I'm gonna post the times for that here pretty quick. But there will be 3 required synchronous sessions, 2 as a class and 1 with your small group. Once we get closer to those sessions, I usually send out a doodle poll, which is a tool that you can use to see when the best time for most of us to meet are. And I'll make sure that I accommodate times in which you're able to meet. So we won't have to worry about not being able to get together. But there are, like I said, 3 one-hour synchronous sessions that are required in this course. Okay, so you also have 3 discussions worth 15%. One of those is the introduction discussion that you're doing this week. But you'll also find that we have a midpoint discussion, and then we have a discussion at the end of the semester where you're going to get to converse with experts in the field. So veteran online teachers who have lots and lots of experience from which you get to ask as many questions and any questions that you want. So that's going to be a neat experience towards the end of the semester. So 3 class discussions worth 15%. Okay, next is your Philosophy of Online Teaching Google document, and this is worth 25%. This is basically a document that you're going to set up and share with me, and only me, for most of the semester. And it's going to basically be a document that you build upon every other week. And you're going to be using the framework found in your textbook on page 242 to build this document and add to it each week. And I'll talk a little bit more about this. I mean, you probably have already seen it in the soft talk lesson. But I'll give you instructions for how to set the Google document up if you don't already know how to do that, and how to share it with me. And then every other week you will you'll log into your Google document, you'll add something to it, and I'll be able to go in and kind of check and comment on your progress throughout the semester. So again, that's your Philosophy of Online Teaching document in Google Docs, and that's worth 25%. One thing to mention about that document in relation to your small groups is that at the end of the semester, you will be sharing a draft of your document with your group members. They're going to give you feedback and comments on it, and then you'll have to turn in the final copy of your philosophy that incorporates their feedback. And that has to do with that synchronous session. The small group synchronous session is where you guys will share with each other the feedback on those philosophy pages. Don't worry, I'll scaffold this a lot once we get closer to that, but that's kind of how they all relate to one another. Finally, you have 5 self-assessments and a comprehensive final exam for 20%. And so every other week you'll have a self-assessment over the readings, and you can take that quiz as many times as you want to. And basically the questions from those quizzes, along with other questions related to the course videos and resources, will be compiled into your final exam, which is comprehensive and covers all aspects of the course. And again, those self-assessments and comprehensive exam is worth 20%. All right, I make a couple of notes in here about I'm sort of a stickler for this, but I don't give extra credit, so don't ask. My policy for incomplete grades is in line with the university policy, so it asks that you get that approval from me prior to the last week of classes, and hopefully in written form. I know sometimes life gets in the way, and I do try to work with students when things like that come up. The last note here is just basically saying that the syllabus is an instructional document, and I'll make every effort to complete the semester according to the syllabus, but again, life happens, so it may be necessary to make certain changes to facilitate your needs, and so it is subject to change. I will always let you guys know with a written notice that it's going to change. In terms of submitting deliverables, there's not a provision for making up a missed assignment, so get it in early. That's sort of the takeaway here. Get it in early to avoid missing deadlines. And definitely don't want you to have to call and make excuses about why you didn't get it in. If you get it in early, you don't have to worry about any of this stuff. So again, get it in early. Part of the reason I put this in here too is that I do not want you to wait until a Sunday to try to get everything done in our course. It's so important for you to check in at least daily during the week to make sure that you're up to speed on everything that's going on. So I really encourage you to not wait until Sunday to log in to see what's going on for the week, because it could be that it takes you more than an entire day to get stuff done. So again, don't wait till the last minute. The next section in the syllabus is the course topics outline, and I'm actually going to go through our course topics document, which is a little more fleshed out and has deliverables in a separate video. But this basically gives you an overview of the topics that we cover. And you can see for most topics we have 2 weeks to cover the topic, or 2 weeks dedicated to the topic. All right, we have our ADA statement. This is a requirement of Tarleton to have in our syllabus, but it basically says if you have a disability, we have a wonderful director of student disability here on campus, Miss Trina Guy, who actually I'm going to ask to be one of our guest experts later in the semester, because she's an expert with something called universal design, which has to do with designing online courses to accommodate all learners, including those with disabilities. So she will be one of our guest experts later in the semester. We have a standards of conduct statement in here, and I'll let you read through that. That's standard with the Tarleton handbook. We also have our CNI professionalism expectations. So as graduate students, we expect the highest professionalism from all of our students with regard to communication, collaboration, commitment, professional development, and ethical conduct. There's also the computer use policy, which basically says I don't ever want anyone other than you to log into this course and complete the work. So I and trusting that you're the only one that uses your credentials to log into our course. Finally, our library here on campus, the Dick Smith Library, is a wonderful resource for you in terms of finding research and resources. The librarians over there are phenomenal folks who are always willing to help you, so I wanted to be sure and include a link to the library in our syllabus. Alright, so our next video will go over the course outline and schedule in a little bit more detail.